Hello and welcome to Conversations with Nurit. I am Nurit. I'm speaking with you today from Budapest, Hungary. And my guest today is Gabor Harsani. Welcome, Gabor.
Thank you.
And Gabor is also speaking with you from Budapest, Hungary. We're both in Budapest. I'm on the Pest side, he's on the Buda side. So
yeah, the Danube is dividing us.
The Danube, yeah, it's only water that comes between us. Okay, so we have something new starting as of today, and it's a new series that we're doing, and it's called Freedom. And the way it came about is very interesting. Recently, Gabor had an interview on Conscious TV, and yesterday we received a beautiful message on Facebook from a very dear friend, a Facebook friend, by the name of Kasrai. We're going to call her Cass for short. And she's from United Arab Emirates. And she also manages a group on Facebook called Non-Fear and Awareness. Non-Fear and Awareness. And it's a wonderful group. There's a lot of fabulous postings on it. And she watched the interview with Gabor on Conscious TV, and her comment was that she found that there's actually I'll read exactly what she said. She wants more explanation about the techniques of how to retrain the mind. She found that what Gabor talks about when he talks about the mind and retraining the mind is very different than what a lot of the New Age teachings offer, which are more on the idea of getting rid of the mind. And it seems like the mind has got quite a bad rap, and I get why. My mind has always been my friend. So there's a lot of that out there. Get rid of the mind. Let's subdue the mind. Let's overcome this terrible thing called the mind. And Gabor talks about it a little bit differently. So she wanted to hear more about that. And she also had this wonderful idea of starting a series that will allow people to ask questions and allow people to participate and share things on this show, which will be probably once a week or once in 2 weeks. We don't know yet. It's all in the beginning phases. But Cass is actually the initiator of this. And we thank her very much for starting this up. It's a wonderful idea, and it will be presented to her group as well, and to everyone. So our topic today is actually called The Mind, Hostage or Liberator. So the series is called Freedom, but today we're talking about the mind. Is it a hostage or is it a liberator? What would you say, Gabor?
Probably a dualistic schizophrene. Both. Well, it's a hell of a good question, because actually once we understand and clarify that question, the rest becomes actually reasonably easy. The mind, is it a hostage or a liberator? The mind, the way it is functioning currently, it's really a hostage in its current mode. Let's call it a limiting mode, LM for short, limiting access mode, LAM perhaps.
Okay.
In this limited mode, what the mind does is basically looks at information, researches information, compiles information into different templates, then have a good understanding, and then it says, aha, now I understand. So whatever I have been looking at and hearing, whatever I've been compiling, has value. So I'm going to store everything. It's got value to me. Then it continues And again, it researches and compiles things into piles of information and templates. And again, it has another understanding. Oh, now I understand. So, aha, I understand. Therefore, it has value. So, for short, let's call this the understanding and value template. So, the more I understand, the more value I give it. And certainly on that subject, we can talk for a whole week, but that's a short version of it. So let's say the mind operates on that modality. And it's certainly extremely useful for building a bridge, building a house, getting a diploma, stuff like that. You gather more information and then you compile it and you give it value, and then you learn more and there is more value. Mm-hmm. And the mind has another possible function, however. We're going to come back and compare both modalities, but let's just address the other modality that is not very well known and or is totally misunderstood. The other mode, I would call it the mode of not yet defined, or the awakening mode. Let's call it SAM for short.
Self-awakening mode?
Yeah, I used to call it self-awakening mode. Yeah. So,
for those who are watching from the United States, this has nothing to do with Uncle Sam.
Yeah, nothing to do with Uncle Sam. So it's the self-awakening mode. But, you know, by all means, do not think that it's complex, what I'm about to say, because we call it self-awakening mode, and that might trigger some mysterious picture in the listener's mind. We could call it anything. We could call it a rooster, a rusty nail, a red violin, Uncle Jack, whatever. And I'm deliberate when I'm saying that, is that we cannot take a name seriously. It's just a name that later on we will have to drop, and then we can go on from there. Anyway, self-awakening mode is the mode that where the mind is capable of connecting to the whole universe. Mm. We can call it the yet undefined mode, the not yet defined. We can say it's space. We can say it's God. We can say it's the universe. Again, the name is not as important. So that modality of the mind is certainly not yet developed and not yet defined, and is totally misunderstood. What is the easiest way for us to get in touch with the whole universe, with all the space, with all the universes, basically? Well, we do happen to have, the mind happen to have something called the body, which happen to be an exact copy or an exact small fractal of the whole universe. Mm-hmm. And so the body that functions so extremely well, so intelligent, that my limited mind couldn't possibly make it function for a second. Billions of pieces of information interacting with each other every moment to make us function the way we are. So the easiest way to get in touch with the whole universe or space, which our mind is capable of, is getting in touch with our own bodies. I guess this is why perhaps Jesus said the kingdom of God is within. It really is within. Now to go a step further in this process where there is no further, we must introduce another concept.
Which we will have to drop eventually.
Which we will have to drop eventually also. But sometimes we introduce a new concept so that we can simplify and drop more concepts.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're introducing the concept of free will. We've been given the divine ability of free will. Again, this concept is totally misunderstood. Oh, humans have free will, so okay, I can pick between coffee or tea or wine or beer or blonde or brunette or whatever, right? I prefer soccer to boxing. And we think it's a free will, and it's really not the free will. It's a template that we have developed to choose. So it's a template that we call free will that is choosing, that is choosing. So we can call it the free choosing template. So
I like that.
Yeah, it's not the free will. It looks like it, but it isn't. What is the free will? The free will is the will whereby I can pay attention without any kind of motivation, meaning that usually where we pay attention, we have some kind of a motivation. Mm-hmm. We want to get bigger, smaller, etc. So I'm paying attention to something that has value. Free will is the paying attention to the something that, according to the mind's current status, have no value whatsoever. Matter of fact, the mind would label it nonsense. So free will is when you are willing freely to pay attention to nonsense, to not yet defined, an area of life where there is no reference point. No reference point whatsoever. I guess that's why we can call it free will.
Yeah.
Also, another, I guess, important point has to be realized is that most of us don't know that the biggest value we have as human beings is our attention. We never think of it. It's been proven through the Schrödinger experiments, etc., which you can look up on Google. The bottom line is that your attention, you paying attention to something, is not irrelevant. The material world is not independent of us. So if the material world is not independent of you, then it's got a tremendous value. Dude, you can influence reality. So certainly advertising companies and the government and institutions know the value of your attention, and they place a lot of value on it. We are the only ones who don't realize it or don't think about it. So you take your attention and using your free will, you're paying attention to the universe or the small fractal of the universe, which is your body. Again, I repeat, we take our free will, which we can be trained how to use the free will. We pay attention where we want. We're not motivated by anything except we're exercising that free will. Exercising that free will to pay attention to the mini universe, which is your own body. It could be learned how to exercise, how to do that exercise. At the beginning, the mind in its current mode cannot value this. So I take my free will, which is the most valuable possession that I have, and I pay attention to the universe. which is my body. And between my attention and the body, I have activated the other modality of the mind, which we called it SAM, which is self-actualization. What was it?
Self-awakening.
Self-awakening mode. So free will, attention to the body, which is the universe, activates that modality. So we have two modality of the mind: the limited mode, which is operating currently on the planet, and that unlimited mode, the not yet defined mode. And so when the mind is capable of doing both, it is really magical. We have then returned to the golden age. There is unconditional love, peace. You wouldn't think of harming anyone, yet you would retain all the intelligence, all the information, all your abilities. Now, the mind have been crippled so far. It's been operating as a cripple because it's lost its ability to be in touch with God, to be in touch with the universe. So it's been operating like a cripple. It's amazing that we have survived this far as humanity. Mind you, we have to kill a whole bunch of people once in a while to survive, but what the hell, that's collateral damage.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to joke or make light of this. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, but the mind is not capable of anything else in its current state. We're gonna have consistent crisis, and we're gonna have to kill something. We're gonna have to kill tribes, nations, families, whatever, and then we start again. Now, when the mind is capable of both, which it is capable of both, of accessing the yet undefined and the defined, then all that will stop totally. We no longer need to kill anything to have enough space. There's enough space for everyone. There is enough love for everyone. There will be enough food for everyone. There will be enough everything for everyone. So, so then now we're capable of answering the original question, which is the mind a hostage? Or what was the question? Or a
liberator.
Is the mind a hostage or a liberator? In its current state, it's a hostage. It's crippled. In the other mode, it's a liberator. If you put the two modes together, it's an absolute genius. It's the men and women from the golden age. It's the prodigal son, when the prodigal son returns home, and that's where we're going. And it is your absolute right to get there. You don't have to deserve it. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to research for it. There's no deserving whatsoever, and you can only enter into this mode now. It can be learned, it is your right, and again, you don't have to deserve it. How to do what I just said, perhaps we will address in other videos.
Yes, thank you. That's really wonderful. Gabor does initiate people into this in private sessions and in groups. And in the meantime, if you watch Gabor's interview on Conscious TV, at the very end of the interview, it looks like it's stopping, but it's not. Be patient, let the tape continue. At the very end, there's a guided meditation. We don't really like to call it meditation because it's not really what it is, but for lack of a better word, it's a guided meditation where Gabor actually takes you to that inner space, to that inner silence that he's talking about. And it's very powerful, and I highly recommend it. I will also be posting the information on the credits of how to reach us, how to reach Gabor, how to reach Kasrai. And if you want to join her group, I'm sure she would welcome that as well. And also, please write to us with your questions. You can post them on Facebook. You can send them directly to us. And in the future series, in the future episodes of the series, we will answer them as best we can. So Thank you very much, Gabor. It's been wonderful. And thank you, Cass, for initiating this wonderful venture. We're really enjoying it. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you. Thank you, Nurit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And God bless.
God bless you.